Ladies and gentlemen,
Borí egungun àtàlà ní sáborí òrùlé adé afúnranjí ẹlùjù tí ó lálàlà tí ó fẹ́ gbà á dirí ìrànjẹ òde ò igi ẹlùjù owó táwọn wá ẹlùjù ló wà ìrànjẹ òde ò igi ẹlùjù ire gbogbo táwọn wá ẹlùjù ló wà ìrànjẹ òde ò igi ẹlùjù.
àbámọ̀ yóò lè bá o àbámọ̀.
gbogbo wa lọ́la àwọn tó nílẹ̀. Mo kí gbogbo ìjòyè, gbogbo ọba, gbogbo àwọn tó ń mí, gbogbo àwọn tí ò mí, gbogbo àwọn tá à ń rí àti gbogbo àwọn tá à rí tán bẹ lórí ìkàlẹ̀. Mo kí wọn lónìí o. Ọ̀rọ̀ tá a fẹ́ sọ yìí kájá sọ mí o, mojúbà gbogbo àwọn tó láyé o. Inú mi dẹ̀ mo dẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ akọni bàbá wa Àkàrà Oògùn àti gbogbo mánéjìmẹ́ǹtì àwùjọ ọmọ Yorùbá ní orí clubhouse, ní ìta clubhouse. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe tó ń bẹ lórí ìjókòó. Mo dẹ̀ kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá. Mo dúpẹ́ fún orí ọ̀fẹ́ tẹ́ ẹ fún mi, tẹ́ ẹ wò pé nínú ìmọ̀ kékeré tí mo ní pẹ̀lú ọmọdé ara mi kí n wá share a little bit. Orí ọ̀fẹ́ ni mo rí o, kì í ṣe pé mo mọ nǹkan kan. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ o. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, lágbára Olódùmarè. Gbogbo nta ń lé pé kílẹ̀ Yorùbá mọ́ parun, Olódùmarè yóò jẹ́ orí bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ẹ wá gbà mí láàyè, bàbá mi Àkàrà Oògùn, mo fẹ́ tọrọ gáfárà àti lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ilé. Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé tán pé colonialism kò sẹ́ni tí ò bàjá, kò sẹ́ni tí ò gbà, kò sẹ́ni tí ò mọ bá nǹkan yí ń bẹ̀. So Yorùbá àti òyìnbó ní mọ̀ sọ, ní mọ̀ ṣe àmúlùmálà. Torí àwọn terms, technical terms wà tí màá sọ. So ẹ bá gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o, ẹ ní bínú sí mi. So anybody tó bá rò pé wọ́n fáìnì mi kí n tó bẹ̀rẹ̀, mo ti tètè pariwo ara mi síta kó tó di pé ẹ máa fún mi ní fáìn. So ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.
Ẹ ṣá lọ wá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ owó sílẹ̀.
Ṣé sir. Today we'll be discussing a very important topic. And it says how to lose your land. It's a very powerful topic. And when I saw that topic is a topic that should be a rallying point for every indigenous people across the world in fighting for what they believe in. Kí ni wọ́n pè ní ilẹ̀? Ẹ rí pé ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ìjà méjì ló le jù. Ìjà méjì ló le jù nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Tó jẹ́ pé ìran kan wọ́n á dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí para wọn fún 400, 500 years. Wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ destroy ara wọn ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Wọ́n ń pè ní orogún òwò àti ìjàlẹ̀. Ṣé ọ̀gá mọ́ sọ Yorùbá sọ wá sọ fún yín pé orogún òwò lé o, orogún òwò lé o. Orogún òwò náà ń pè ní economic war. Ẹ rí i pé kí ló dominate geopolitics láyé ń sìn? Economic sanction. Lágbájá Amẹ́ríkà ó sanction Russia, in tó ń tà, epo tí ń tà, wọn ò ní jó rìtà mọ́. China yóò sanction country kan, góòlù tí ń tà, wọn ò ní jó rìtà mọ́ láti bà yé ara wọn jẹ́, láti jára wọn sí òwò. So ìjà orogún òwò nu, ìjàlẹ̀ jẹ́ nǹkan tó le jù lára àwọn nǹkan tó le jù nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Tó jẹ́ pé ẹni tó bá ní ọgbọ́n, ẹni kan sọ pé ìjàlẹ̀ yẹn dá sí o, wọ́n dà sí dúdú láyé sí ìjàlẹ̀ o. Ẹni pé àwọn ọmọ ìjà yóò mọ lọ ní. Tẹ́ pé wọ́n dẹ̀ ń rún odidi ìlú, ilé ọlá wọn lè sọ́dà wóró torí ìjàlẹ̀. So the concept of land, the understanding of land, ó yé àwọn bàbá wa, ó yé wọn dáadáa. Ó yé wọn dáadáa. Torí ẹni tẹ́ bá láwọn tí ò ń ṣe Yorùbá, wọ́n máa sọ pé Yorùbá ò bá lulẹ̀, wọ́n lè talẹ̀ family nígbà wọn ò understanding tí Yorùbá jẹ́. Wọ́n bá mọ̀ wá ní, wọ́n wà more careful. Pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ wà very careful kó tó torí bọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀lẹ̀ ńbẹ̀. Torí ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀fi rí pé ibi tí wàhálà ti dé bá wa ní lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa kò jù ní Ìlọrin lọ. Ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pátá, láti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá Nàìjíríà débi dé Togo. even to Fide Ghana. So I will now start about what land is. And as regards talking from the African context, I'll be talking about what has happened to the native Indians. I'll be talking about what has happened to many ethnic nationalities in the Middle East. I'll be talking about many ethnic nations in Europe. What has happened to them about land and the importance of land in preserving a nation, in preserving a civilization, in preserving a people. Land is the most important factor, commodity, in any production. Land is the most important and the most valuable. When the people do not have a land, they become powerless, they become stateless. What makes a Yoruba man is the ability of a Yoruba man to have a land. What makes a Igbo man is the connection between that Igbo man with Igbo land. You cannot profess to be a Yoruba man when you do not have a homeland to point to. And anybody under any kind of arrangement, whether globalization, capitalism, neocolonialism, or any form of war that is trying to tell you trying to change your attachment to your ancestral home, they are about to send you into the museum. Sherry, teba wo map waye continent mo ti so mbe mo de káwọn èyàn kan tún kekere tuntun gbọ́ ní àṣálẹ́ yìí torí alẹ́ níbi tí mo wà yìí. There are 6 habitable continents on the surface of the earth geopolitically. 6. And Madam Kafuyi, North America, South America, Africa, Asia, àti Europe, àti Australia, New Zealand. Ṣé tẹ́ ẹ bá wo gbogbo continent ayé yìí? Báwọn èèyàn ń gbé bẹ̀. Ní 500 years ago, máàpù ayé àti àwọn tó ń gbé bẹ̀ ó yàtọ̀ sí bí ó ṣe rí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Tẹ́ ẹ bá wo 1000 years ago, máàpù ayé àwọn tó ń gbé bẹ̀ in their millions ó yàtọ̀ sí bó ṣe rí báyìí. Tẹ́ ẹ bá wo 1500 years ago, máàpù ayé àwọn tó ń gbé bẹ̀ àti nínú kọ́ńtínẹ̀ǹtì kọ̀ọ̀kan, in fact nǹkan ti yí padà. Tẹ́ ẹ bá lọ 300 years ago, Ọ̀yọ́ empire wà. Dárò pé bí ó ṣe mọ rí lọ nìyẹn títí ayérayé. Tẹ́ ẹ bá lọ 200 years ago, Ottoman empire wà. Dárò pé báyìí ni ó ṣe mọ rí káàkiri ayé for life. Tẹ́ ẹ bá lọ 400, 500 years ago, about 300 years ago, we had the Kumachi empire, the Circassian kingdom, different kingdoms. That were káàkiri ayé. Tẹ́ ẹ bá lọ sí 500 years ago, there used to be an Aztec empire. Níbi tán pè ní Mexico ní ìsìn. Tẹ́ ẹ bá lọ wo táwọn people yìí ti gbé ṣe in terms of science and technology, they were far advanced than many civilizations of that time. Wọ́n kọ́ pyramids, tán pè ní skyscraper àgbà yẹn. Wọ́n ní system of writing wọn. Wọ́n ní aquaponics, advanced form of agriculture. In fact, their system of irrigation, wọ́n ṣe ń kọ́ ìlú, wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe street, àwọn èèyàn lọ ń copy wọn ní 24th century pé bóun náà ṣe ní 300, 400 years ago. Ṣùgbọ́n mo fẹ́ sọ fún yín pé gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀yà yẹn, gbogbo àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè yẹn náà ti wipe out, ni wọ́n ti parẹ́ máyé. Àwọn kan dẹ̀ ti gba ilẹ̀ wọn, àwọn kan ti ń gbé bẹ̀. So kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ rò pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ò lè parun. Tẹ́mọ́tọ́ ni ìlọ yẹn ìrọ̀lẹ́ ń pa Yorùbá ò lè parun. Ẹ mọ̀ tanra yín, Yorùbá lè parun o. Yorùbá lè parun o. Tí a bá ṣe ohun tó yẹ ká ṣe. Mo sọ fún yín pé tẹ́ ẹ bá wo ẹ wo bí Amẹ́ríkà ṣe tó, bí Canada ṣe tó, bí Mexico ṣe tó, gbogbo ìlú yẹn pátá, kí àwọn kan dẹ̀ bọ̀ síbẹ̀ kí wọ́n dẹ̀ wipe wọn out. countries wo ẹ̀yà Yorùbá wo ni ó ní gold tá a ti kó pamọ́ ní tó náà ti bá tiwa jẹ́ ẹ lọ wo gbogbo àwọn orílẹ̀ so ẹ mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé àkàngbáyà láyé ni torí ẹ̀ because we don't appreciate the value of land we don't understand land ẹ jẹ́ wá padà sí Nàìjíríà ẹ rí i pé Fúlàní ní gbogbo Africa pátá gbogbo West Africa they are always fighting against indigenous people for one basic factor anything Fúlàní ò ní interest nínú obìnrin yín kò ní interest nínú ọkùnrin yín kò ní interest ní anything tí Fúlàní bá ń dá wàhálà lẹ́bi kan ẹ lọ bí wọ́n lè rè pé kí ló fa ìjà land ilẹ̀ ní o for the past 300-400 years bẹ́ẹ̀ gbà wọ́n lálejò ìjọ kan ni wọ́n dìde pé ilẹ̀ àwọn fẹ́ gbà lọ́wọ́ yín kèdè ẹ̀ ṣe ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nìkan náà ti ṣe tẹ̀ bá dọ̀dọ̀ àwọn Ìgbìrà you are causing the same problem ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn Ìgbò you are causing the same problem tẹ̀ bá lọ̀dọ̀ àwọn Dogons ní Mali you are causing the same problem Bambara you are causing the same problem ní Togo you are causing the ní Kotokoli ní Togo you are causing the same problem Atapami they are causing the same problem then Ghana Northern Ghana they are causing the same problem Liberia they are causing the same problem Central African Republic they are causing the same problem Sudan they are causing the same problem Day Ethiopia Eritrea they are causing the same problem Democratic Congo they are causing the same problem Cameroon they are causing the same problem ìpakúpani wọ́n dẹ̀ ń pa àwọn tó ní ibẹ̀ they will take over the land wọ́n dẹ̀ máa expand population àwọn Fúlàní ní other West African countries kò ju bí 6 to 7 million lọ population Fúlàní ilẹ̀ yìí ní ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n ti pa àwọn èèyàn rẹ̀ it's not 15 million torí mo sọ nǹkan kan fún yín pé tí wọ́n ti pa àwọn èèyàn rẹ̀ you will be able to expand ṣe rí ayé ìdí ẹ̀kú òkè kẹ́ ẹ máa sọ ìbò woman there is no woman right tẹ́ ẹ bá jẹ́ wọ́n bá ti ń jẹ́ for fun tẹ́ ẹ rí ẹgbẹ́ fẹ́ bá ti èèyàn jẹ́ èèyàn á múra èèyàn á ṣiṣẹ́ tiẹ̀ mọ́ iṣẹ́ ni ẹ máa múra ẹ máa fún ṣòkòtò yín tó máa lé you don't ní kíá yín tẹ́ ẹ bá ń sọ lẹ́ máa sọ yín tẹ́ ẹ bá ń fẹ́ lẹ́ máa fẹ́ jọ́kẹ́ mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ wùdìdì nìkan bá mi ẹ̀wọ́n ìbá orders fún ní kí ló kan orders ẹ̀yin ẹ̀yà yòókù ẹ̀ bá lọ museum kò sí tó kàn mí ká máa san $5 $10 ká máa fi wòyìn bí ọ̀bọ̀nù museum kò sí tó kàn mí tí Yorùbá ò bá ṣáà ti parun that is what concern me torí tó kálukú ò bá tètè sọ orí ààrẹ ibi tá à ń lọ nìyẹn o káni báwọn Fúlàní gbé ṣe àrí àwọn pípù yìí wọ́n ní audacity wọ́n wá gbérúgà wọ́n gbé wá ẹ̀jẹ̀ tẹ́nibọ̀dì ò bá ti surrender ilẹ̀ rẹ̀ tí ò bá ti surrender ilẹ̀ rẹ̀ fáwọn àwọn ọmọ pa àwọn èèyàn lọ ni o ṣẹ́ni báyìí tí wá ti tí ò bá ti ta ẹ̀ tún ara àwọn èèyàn Buhari ló fà á rúgà yẹn kò yẹ ká gbà á pé ká sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ kò bá humanity mu pọ́ṣẹ̀ tó yẹ kó o béèrè ni pé kí ló dé kí ni wọ́n rò tán fi ní audacity yẹn ṣé o ti lọ ka ìtàn wọn ibi tó máa ti ń make irú request yẹn kí ni mo ń gbẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ ikú ni o Russia tẹ́ ń wò yẹn bó ṣe create Russia nìyẹn o gbogbo southern Russia Crimea southern Ukraine táwọn Russian speakers wà gbogbo southern border Russia yẹn gbogbo Caucasus did not belong to Russia. Russia pa àwọn èèyàn run. Wọ́n ń pe ẹ̀yà kan ní Circassian. It was a very peaceful, prosperous country. Though exist for close to 800 years. Russia dẹ̀ parun, wọ́n dẹ̀ sọbẹ̀ di Russian area. The same thing ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Crimea. Crimea 400-300 years ago never belonged to Russia. Crimea was our Crimea Tatars, who are descendants of the Mongols and the Turks. Lóní Crimea. Ẹ̀yà tó ní Crimea nìyẹn. Wọ́n dẹ̀ kó ogun wọn bẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ pa wọ́n run. Àwọn obìnrin wọn wọ́n sọ wọ́n dáyà àwọn ọkùnrin bẹ̀ wọ́n pa wọ́n. Àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké bẹ̀ wọ́n castrate wọn. Àwọn obìnrin bẹ̀ wọ́n gbà á. Wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ ilẹ̀ yẹn. Wọ́n dẹ̀ káwọn Russians síbẹ̀. And Crimea, within 200 years, Crimea became Russian, 99% Russia. Nísìnyí, kí ni excuse tí Putin fi lọ annex Crimea onílẹ̀ Russia ni? ṣé sọ pé ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ Russia ni àwọn tó parun dà káwọn bá gbé lọ kóòtù ṣé ẹni tó bá wà láyé nígbèyàn lọ kóòtù wọ́n ti ṣe tí wọ́n mọ́ṣẹ́ torí ẹ̀ ní gbogbo àwọn middle belt yẹn kọ́nà mọ́jọ di missing belt láìpẹ́ kọ́nà dáríjì mi o kọ́nà mọ́jọ kí middle belt kọ́nà mọ́jọ di missing belt àdá àdúrà tí mo gbà fún wọn nìyẹn sẹ́ni tí wọ́n lọ sí tí wọ́n ra mọ́ṣẹ́ wọ́n tura wọn di prayer warrior lójú ikú lójú ìbọn wọ́n wá sọ wọ́n di súyà náà ń gé wọn wẹ́wẹ́ nígbà tí ẹ̀rẹ́ pọ̀ mọ́ so torí ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá gbogbo yẹn ó kàn ń ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń bíyàn nínú ni tó ń pààyàn lẹ́kún ẹ̀dẹ̀ mọ̀ the land is power once you lose your land you cannot exist so ẹ wo lẹ̀ tí Crimea ẹ wo lẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó gbà tí àwọn bàbá during Empress Catherine náà ti gba Crimea tó ti gbà fún Russia now that particular place nìkan ni Russia ti ní access fún naval power wọn láti di super power so ẹ pé they will be able to you have warm water all year round to go to Europe, North Africa and Asia. Ibẹ̀ tún wá ní as one of the biggest deposits of natural gas in the world in Europe. As one of the biggest deposits of natural gas in Europe. When you take away that land, tí táwọn Russians ò bá pa àwọn èèyàn láti dalẹ̀ onílẹ̀, wọn ò lè ní claim tí Russia ò bá ti bàjẹ́ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Èmi ò sọ pé nǹkan ṣe right o. So tẹ́ bá dé táwọn Fúlàní ṣe àtọ́kọ̀ tí wọ́n ń dalẹ̀ onílẹ̀ tọ́lá àfi dandan káwọn kì í dàbọ̀ náà òkun àwọn ọmọ da Nàìjíríà rú ni ṣe rí àwọn bíbí ìdẹ́gbọ̀n wọ́n da Nàìjíríà rú wọ́n rẹ̀ tí wọ́n sọ pé àwọn làwọn jẹ́ president wọ́n rẹ̀ tí wọ́n sọ pé àwọn ni àwọn tún wà bọ́ọ̀ tùrù àwọn wọ́n rẹ̀ tí wọ́n máa pariwo wọ́n Nàìjíríà. That is how these people the audacity ṣé Yorùbá lè máa da Nàìjíríà rú káwọn lọ Sókótó káwọn fipá báyàwó wọn sùn mẹ́ta méjì sáà lè máa lọ bẹ́ẹ̀nù bọ̀nú káwọn kórèpì fúnyàwó wọn bẹ̀ ká tó wọn bọ́ ta ní 2020 yes àwọn làwọn máa jẹ president àwọn làwọn rúlu yín káwọn ní tẹ́ẹ̀bà fẹ́ káwọn fi bá bọ́ ọmọ yín lò pọ̀ mọ́ o ẹ filẹ̀ yín lẹ̀. Can we do that? Can we do that? We cannot do that. Ìjọba Sunday Igboho dìde pé ẹ mọ́ pa àwọn èèyàn mímọ́ àwọn Sẹ́ríkì Fúlàní tó ń ṣe agbódò ìgbà fólè bó ṣe ìyàwó rẹ̀ ń bá fat ó ń ṣe tó wù káàkiri ni o kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó mu sí àwa tá a nígbà intense ò dáa ẹ mọ́ pa àwọn èèyàn wa mọ́ àwọn ọmọ tiwa ní bẹlẹ́wọ̀n ọmọ tiwa náà ni wọ́n fi ṣẹ̀kẹ̀ṣẹ̀kẹ̀ tó fi ń gbédè o ẹ wá jókòó tẹ́tẹ́rẹ́ ẹ sọ PDP APC ẹ ṣe nírònú náà ẹ ṣe nírònú Yorùbá ò ṣe ronú náà pé ká ro bigger goal ṣé tiwọn ò ní bàjẹ́ sáà ní dàbí middle belt níjọ́ kan ṣé ní middle belt wọ́n ti bá ti middle belt jẹ́ Nàìjíríà ní population close to 200 million wọ́n dẹ̀ ní more than 5 million population wa is in IDP camp 5 to 10 million that means 5% of the Nigerian population are refugees in a particular ethnic bloc that are minorities in a strategic buffer zone which is in the middle belt wọ́n dẹ̀ lé wọn kúrò nílé wọn àwọn pípọ̀ yóò ní wọn ò lè bí wọn dá ṣé ní gbogbo bí tán lé wọn lọ yẹn máa di ìlú gbogbo àwọn refugee center sí wọn yẹn ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti build ìlú àwọn Fúlàní ó dẹ̀ take over ìlú yẹn pátápátá. That was how they took over many places, created emirates in southern Kaduna. That was how they took over Jos North. That was how they took over southern Bauchi, southern Gombe. Gbogbo bẹ̀yẹn ti lọ, they taking it over. Same thing with southern Kebbi. Same thing with northern Nasarawa. Same thing in many places in Niger. No go because they have been able to understand pé ilẹ̀ yẹn ni o. Pé kì í ṣe pé tó ti ń gbé ilẹ̀ tó ti ń gbé ibì kan fún 1,000 years 2,000 years lónìí ilẹ̀. Ẹni pé they tell you that the land belongs to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Ẹ tí wọ́n pè tẹ́lẹ̀ bí wọ́n lè fi tọ́lọ́mọ àwọn dáná Federal Republic of Nigeria sílẹ̀. Torí ẹ̀ níbi kíbi tí wọ́n fi sọ fún ẹ pé you are not part of Nigeria. Wọ́n máa tọ̀ sára ni. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé without they talking about Nigerian identity, they cannot claim your land. They cannot claim your land. Ẹ̀rọ nípa àwọn olórí burúkú tó ń pè àwọn leaders from the south. I don't want to mention name. In 1976, Oshimanshi Land Use Act. They took over our land and gave it to state governments. And these state governments, under the state governors, under the military government, Fulani lè wá máa rule wọn yín lọ́yọ̀ states. tẹ́lẹ̀ ní kankan tẹ́ ṣe sí. Many people ló wà ní China, many people ló wà ní Macau, tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ní Portuguese ancestry, tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ti intermarry pẹ̀lú Portuguese. Torí ẹ̀ tí àlòbí ọ̀rọ̀ pé Ìlọrin gbàdágbà Yorùbá nation kó mọ bá Fúlàní. No, it's our land. Kò sí tó kàn wá ìwọ tó bá ti lọ fẹ́fẹ̀kúfẹ̀ sí tó ti lọ mix genetics yẹn papọ̀ kó kàn á wá ilẹ̀ wa nìyẹn. Because that land is your sustenance. Mọ ìtàwọn bàbá ńlá yín àṣírí tó ti ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn tó nílẹ̀ ẹbẹ̀. Tẹ́ ẹ bá fi lè lù sí ẹ lè má jẹ èèyàn mọ́. That is how powerful a land is. Ṣé tẹ́ bá ti rí àwọn tó bá ti sọ ilẹ̀ wọn nù òṣì máa ń ta wọ́n kú ni. Tán ní ọpọlọ tán ní gbogbo òṣì máa ń ta wọ́n ni. If you don't have land, you don't have power. Once you cannot control your land, you become powerless. You become destitute, you become poor, you become useless. Màá fi example two countries, two good countries ní Africa. Màá fi example fún yín. I'm talking about Namibia and South Africa. Tẹ́ bá lọ sí South Africa, 70% of the land in South Africa belongs, 80% of land belongs to the white settlers. Gbogbo bá ṣe ń sọ ẹ̀ báwọn Europeans ṣe ń lọ káàkiri. Bàbá àwọn Arab kan nípa ti báwọn Arab ti gba North Africa, wọ́n á gbà ìsàlẹ̀ wọlé. Pé ó dàgbé bíbá ẹ̀kọ́ sára fún bẹ́ẹ̀. Tọ́lá àwọn Arab àwọn náà ní military power. Ìbò dẹ̀ làwọn náà, so àwọn ò rí wọn bí anything inferior. Wọ́n dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ogun yìí. Wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wipe out. Tẹ́ bá mọ iye ẹ̀yà táwọn òyìnbó wipe out ní South Africa tó gba ilẹ̀ yẹn. They were making all sort of false legislations. They were making all sort of laws, and they were using guns, and violence láti gba ilẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ gba ilẹ̀ yẹn, wọ́n dẹ̀ control ẹ̀. Débi pé country tó jẹ́ pé 50 million people or 60 million people ló wà ní South Africa. Àwọn 3 to 4 million ló dẹ̀ control 80% of the land ni wọ́n ní ilẹ̀ ẹbẹ̀. So wọ́n lè jí ní ọ̀la tí wọ́n bá ní the right military power kí wọ́n lé gbogbo èèyàn dúdú tó wà South Africa kúrò, kò dẹ̀ sí nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Ṣé ẹ mọye diamonds, iye gold, iye platinum, titanium tó fi ń ṣe aeroplane, gbogbo nǹkan alágbára láyé tí ń bẹ ní gbogbo tí ń bẹ láyé tó fi ń ṣe aeroplane, tó fi ń ṣe all sort of things, uranium, gold tó ń bẹ ní South Africa ni. Tó ń bẹ ní South Africa. Torí ẹni South Africa fi industrialize. Torí resources tó wà ń bẹ kò ṣeé kà. Àwọn òyìnbó ló dẹ̀ kó sọ́wọ́ torí tí wọn ò ní ní Europe. Wọ́n ti fi ogun, wọ́n ti fi jàgídíjàgan, wọ́n ti fi ìtàjẹ̀ sílẹ̀, wọ́n ti fi gbà á. Ìgbà tán dẹ̀ pa àwọn èèyàn for close to 500 years. Àwọn tó pa àwọn èèyàn ní fún 500 years táwọn tó ti da olè yẹn tán. Wọ́n wá pé ẹ ṣáàjà come here. Ẹ jẹ́ kí let there be human rights. Ẹ tó fẹ́ fi ṣerú, wọ́n ti fi ṣerú. Ẹ tó fẹ́ palẹ́kún, wọ́n ti fi palẹ́kún. Ẹ tó fẹ́ ṣe léṣe, wọ́n ti ṣe léṣe. Ẹ tó fẹ́ bà tiẹ̀ jẹ́, wọ́n ti bà tiẹ̀ jẹ́. Kán tó mọ sọ̀rọ̀ human rights. Ṣé ó ti yé yín? Tẹ́ ẹ bá tún wọ́n wá sí Namibia, ẹ̀yà méjì ni wọ́n parun ní Namibia láti gba ilẹ̀ wọn. Àwọn German descendants òyìnbó náà ni wọ́n lọ ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn ní Namibia. Wọ́n pè wọ́n ní Nama àti Herero. In fact, tẹ́ ẹ bá wo gbogbo bíi tí àwọn àjòjì tán ti lé àwọn èèyàn kó lórí ilẹ̀ wọn. Nǹkan méjì ló mọ́ sábà ṣẹlẹ̀ ńbẹ̀. One, àwọn àjòjì yẹn ló máa ń kọ́ àwọn ọmọ tó nílẹ̀ ní máa ń kọ́ àwọn àjòjì pé o ibi o èèwọ̀ ni ẹ má gbàbẹ̀ o. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ti dọ́dọ̀ wa omi tẹ́ ẹ mú rèé o. Oúnjẹ tẹ́ ń jẹrò. They used to teach the settlers how to survive in their indigenous land. Sáré tẹ́ bá ti sáré mo hẹ́sì statement gbé Yorùbá people are very accommodating, they are very hospitable. Tẹ́ bá ti ń rí àjòjì tó ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ fún yín, wọ́n ń kó igbó sí wa lápò ni o. Wọ́n fi okùn sí wa ní ọrùn báyìí, wọ́n mú wa lọ bí ẹran orí ìso tí wọ́n ti sọ ọbẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti sọ sí wa lọ́rùn ni. We have to understand pé kárí yín bí oníjàgídíjàgan orí bí Yorùbá nonsense o ilẹ̀ wọn ẹ̀ lè wọ́bẹ̀ ó bẹ́tà. Torí ẹ̀ ní ìsìn tí ẹ̀ bá pè mí tribalist ní lọ ṣe aṣọ kan láìpẹ́ kí n kọ́ sí lẹ́yìn I'm a tribalist. Tó o bá ti sọ́tọ̀ wọ kó lọ kò sí tó kàn mí ẹ̀ńtẹ́ máa bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ lẹ́ ń wá we need to wọ́n ní pátápátá là fọ́jú kùmọ̀kùmọ̀ là dẹ́tẹ̀ ẹ mọ̀ yẹ ká fìtì ju kárùn àwọn South Africans sọ àwọn dúdú Zulu wọ́n fìtì ju kárùn tí wọ́n ti bàjẹ́ ẹ lọ South African sìn it has one of the most poorest under political independence without economic independence wọ́n náà wọ́n ní independence same thing ṣẹlẹ̀ Namibia they control nothing absolutely nothing kọ́lọ́ mọ̀ yẹ kárí kò ṣe dáadáa táwọn Fúlàní wà máa control gbogbo oko tí ń bẹ lákùrẹ́ tí ń bẹ lóńdó kí Fúlàní máa control oko tí ń bẹ lọ́nà àrà tí ń bẹ lákànrán kí Fúlàní máa control oko tó wà lọ́fà kí Fúlàní máa ṣe àbáyé wá ti bàjẹ́ it's true gbogbo ṣàmọ̀ gbogbo tá a nísìn kárí gbogbo wékòrò and they are doing the same thing by Nigeria mú bọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ láti explain fún yín ibi tí ayé ibi tí Yorùbá tá à ń bá ọ̀rọ̀ wa lọ ṣé ẹ rí ọ̀rọ̀ self-determination and self-preservation kìí ṣe tí ẹ máa sọ ìbò rọ́fọ́rọ́fọ́ sí ń gbà míì ẹ máa sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ máa fẹ́ yín sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kẹ́ ẹ fi toothpick sẹ́nu kò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ o ọ̀rọ̀ do or die ni o torí ẹ̀ ni àwa kan fi ń sọ̀rọ̀ bá ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí tó le torí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá ti kó pé ẹ ọ̀rọ̀ àmọ́ sọ n ò lè ṣe rí etí ẹ mọ anásá kan tí èyàn ti di both physically and spiritually ẹ máa ní ìdí yẹn ọ̀rọ̀ tí kò ní kókókó làárọ̀ fa adití ẹ mú adití yẹn ẹ so mọ́lẹ̀ ẹ wà mọ́ gbá èso mọ́ sọ́dà yóò lè dán ní ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá so ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń sọ yìí a fẹ́ survive ni ṣẹ́rí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ka ti kó pé ẹja preserve culture àwa afẹ́ kọ́kọ́ survive tẹ́ ẹ bá kọ́kọ́ survive lórí ilẹ̀ yẹn lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ ní culture àwọn Yorùbá kan ò kíà tó jẹ́ pé lórí ilẹ̀ wọn o wọ́n ń tọrọ jẹ ni tọ́mọ́tà ti rí aṣọ wọ̀ tó lè sọ pidgin English tó lè sọ English I can speak English very well but I cannot write it tọ́mọ́tà ti lè ṣe gbogbo yẹn tí wọ́n sì máa sọ openly tẹ́gbà ti sọ Yorùbá sí ọmọ nínú ilé yẹn kò sí ní tó kàn wọ́n tó lè wáṣọ ẹbí tó lè gbé Victoria Highland tó lè gbé obìnrin tó bá wù wọ́n kò sí nǹkan tó kàn wọ́n mọ́ they are not interested Yorùbá kan kọ́ mọ́ parun tí táwọn bá ti jayé ayọmọ ọmọ yẹn kò sí tó kàn wọ́n so those people gbọ́dọ̀ allow láti make a law fún wa and we must be intentional about our survival as a people, as a race, and as a civilization state. Torí ẹ̀ mo sọ fún yín pé Germans, it was the first industrial genocide. It happened around 1901 to 1906. Torí ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá rí tán pariwo Holocaust ṣé àwọn èèyàn táwọn Germans parun ṣé rí ká tó pa àwọn Júù run àwọn ẹni wọ́n fi kọ́kọ́ try náà fi test yẹ how you can exterminate the people. Wọ́n dẹ̀ pa ẹ̀yà àwọn Herero àwọn ni wọ́n ní 60 to 70% of the land of Namibia. They were the biggest ethnic group before the Germans wiped them out. Wọ́n fi òǹgbẹ́gbẹ́ wọn kú sínú igbó wọ́n lé wọn sínú desert. Àwọn míì wà tí wọ́n á dẹ̀ kó wọn sínú ship wọ́n á lòdù ship yẹn wọ́n á dẹ̀ take ship yẹn sáàrin omi wọ́n á dẹ̀ detonate bomb. That was how they were getting rid of them because they got calling them 350 human beings. Namibia yẹn sìn diamond kúnbẹ́ o diamond yẹn òun ni wọ́n fi ń ṣe ọrọ̀ ajé ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ibi ní Europe so gbogbo tí wọ́n fi ń ṣe ọrọ̀ tí wọ́n fi ń ṣe ọrọ̀ ajé tí wọ́n fi ń ṣe nǹkan agbára torí dáhùn wò ní owó tán print yẹn kọ́ ní ọrọ̀ when you have diamond in your store you are in your storage you have gold. You have diamond, you have gold, you have silver, you have this rare earth element. Gbogbo àwọn kìíní onyx stones, precious stones. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ní nídìí owó kankan mọ́, you can transact anywhere. Ẹ rí i pé gbogbo sanctions tí wọ́n ṣe sí Russia sí kò ṣiṣẹ́. Reason ni pé the Russian currency has now been ó ti equated to gold. Tí wọ́n ní gold yẹn tẹ́ wọ́n lè lo gold yẹn for the next 100 years láti sustain economy wọn in any war. Ẹ wá wádùú ṣé African countries wo ẹ̀yà Yorùbá Yorùbá wo ni ó ní gold tá a ti kó pamọ́? Ní tó náà ti bá tiwa jẹ́. Ẹ lọ wo gbogbo àwọn orílẹ̀ so ẹ mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé àkàngbáyà láyé ni. Ẹnìkan fi kùmọ̀ ó fi ń jalè ó lè ní mẹ́yà àwọn méjèèjì náà. Torí ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀fi pé they are both doing things hand to hand. They are doing things hand to hand. You understand? Tẹ́ ẹ bá wo ní gbogbo Middle East yẹn, gbogbo Syria, gbogbo èmi ní Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, tó fi wọ gbogbo pàtì Turkey, tó fi lọ yẹn. Area abẹ yẹn, àwọn indigenous people wà níbẹ̀ táwọn Arab parun kan tó gba ilẹ̀ yẹn. They had to wipe people off láti gba ilẹ̀. Ẹ wá wo gbogbo àwọn ilẹ̀ tán gbà. Ẹ wo tó ti dì fún Arab world. The most important the agbára Arab world ni pé àwọn ni wọ́n control, àwọn jẹ́ major or powerful ethnic bloc in oil and gas in the world. Tẹ́ ẹ bá fi lè mú Arab world kú òtán láwọn ò ṣe oil and gas. Àwọn ò ta fún gbogbo ayé mọ́, they will cripple the world economy. In fact, European hegemony, which was built on the petrodollar, tí dọ́là tó fi di currency tó ní agbára jù láyé, àwọn Arab náà lò láti ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn through the Saudi Arabia. Ẹ wá wò ó kó wá jẹ́ pé èèyàn dúdú we were able to fight back. Gbogbo èmi ní North America, gbogbo North Africa yẹn, Morocco, Libya, Tunisia, báwọn bàbá ńlá wa tó jẹ́ èèyàn dúdú, they were able to fight back. Ilẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n preserve ẹ̀. Ṣé rí bí economic prosperity èèyàn dúdú ò bá ṣe jẹ́ láyé? How would have been able to maintain our hegemony? Bẹ̀ẹ̀ kọ́ náà mọ̀jẹ̀ wọ́n fi ìràwọ̀ tiwa wọ́n fi ṣe tẹlòmíì. Wọ́n ti gba ilẹ̀ yẹn. Mo tọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ kọ́kọ́ fún yín nípa land and reproduction. Ṣé rí tẹ́ ẹ bá gba ilẹ̀ tí ilẹ̀ bá kéré, àwọn èèyàn ní population yóò ní grow. Tẹ́ ẹ bá gba ilẹ̀ naturally bí Olódùmarè ṣe ṣẹ̀dá ayé, population yìí máa expand. Bó ṣe rí nìyẹn. Tẹ́ ẹ bá wo population Europe, the amount of white people in Europe, tó jẹ́ people of white of our Caucasians Europe, they are around 300 million to 400 million people. Ní the European continent tí àwọn èèyàn gangan tó jẹ́ orírun wọn. Tẹ́ ẹ bá wá lọ sí America, Mexico àti Canada, àwọn èèyàn dúdú tó jẹ́ European funfun tó jẹ́ European descent ń bẹ, wọ́n fẹ́ tó 500 million. What happened? Torí tẹ́ ẹ bá wo history yẹn wò pé ṣé gbogbo èèyàn ló wá kúrò ní Europe ló lọ America ni? Kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìgbà kan débẹ̀ làwọn yẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí expand. Torí resources pọ̀, ilẹ̀ pọ̀, oúnjẹ pọ̀, agbára pọ̀, ilẹ̀ ẹ̀dẹ̀ wà ń fẹ́ kó tó wọ́n ti pa àwọn èèyàn tó bá wà bẹ̀rùn. Tẹ́rí tẹ́ ilẹ̀ tẹ́yìn manage yẹn tẹ́ ẹ bá gba aráàta kó jókòó ń bẹ́ kó wà ní yín. Àwọn èèyàn ó fẹ́ wọn ó dẹ̀ tí wọ́n ó lè yín dànù ni. Bó ṣe rí nìyẹn. Ṣé rí ẹ̀rí pé àwọn terms kan wà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn tí àwọn baba ńlá wọn àwọn ni wọ́n perpetrate ìwà ìkà yìí. Ẹ máa rí pé this kind of ẹ máa rí pé wọ́n lo terms bíi tribalism, wọ́n máa lo terms bíi hate speech, wọ́n máa lo terms
ethnic bigotry,
wọ́n máa lo terms bíi globalization, wọ́n máa lo terms bíi international order, wọ́n máa lo terms bíi humanity. Ṣé tí bá ti láwọn tí bá ti lo terms yẹn ẹ má bínú àwùjọ Yorùbá olórí burúkú ẹ bá ti kẹ́ẹ̀dìtì kó bá ta yín kẹ́ẹ̀dìtì sá lọ. Kẹ́ẹ̀tì mọ̀ báwọn ará bí wọ́n ti dé. Ìjọ ń gbìyànjú àti ṣe ni pé wọ́n fẹ́ ka yín lọ́wọ́ kò ká wọ́n máa fi pankẹ́rẹ́ ká wọ́n fi sí lẹ́yìn yá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni lè jà padà. Reason ni pé àwọn tí wọ́n benefit in wickedness wọ́n wá fẹ́ humanize pé ẹni tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ ṣáàjì àmúbọ̀. Torí ẹ̀ ni tẹ́ ẹ bá ti rí ibi tó ti ń sọ àmọ̀ pé wà kànáwó ẹ̀jẹ̀ àmúbọ̀ ẹ̀ tètè sáńbẹ́ o. Àwọn ẹni bí àwọn èèyàn kà wọ́n ti gángọ̀. Ni wọ́n fi máa ń lo àwọn statement yẹn because they benefited from the destruction of others. Tẹ́ ẹ bá sọ bọ́rọ̀ yẹn ṣe yẹ kó jẹ́, tẹ́ ẹ bá sọ bọ́rọ̀ yẹn kó ṣe rí, there will be need for justice to be served. but they know that there's nothing called justice. Báwọn ti jẹ ayé aláyé, àwọn ti jẹ mọ́ tiwọn. So they don't want you to talk about it. They just want to keep quiet. And they want to move on. She understand? So, torí ẹ̀ ní ẹ̀rí báwọn méjèèjì yẹn, they are always talking about it. Ẹ̀rí báwọn Fúlàní náà. Clubhouse everywhere. Stop tribalism. Stop hatred. We are all one. Nítorí pé àwọn bàbá ńlá wọn jàgídíjàgan náà fi gba ilẹ̀ onílẹ̀. Àwọn bàbá ńlá wọn wọ́n bà tàwọn èèyàn jẹ́ ni káwọn tó lè ṣe rere. Àwọn bàbá ńlá wọn wọ́n jayé aláyémọ́yé ni. Àwọn bàbá ńlá wọn wọ́n sọ àwọn kan di ẹrú ni. Ṣé you understand? So this is the way the world works. Torí ẹ̀ ní ẹ máa rí wọn pé wọ́n máa pariwo we want liberalism, we want globalization. Torí reason ni pé tí ò bá sí gbogbo yẹn, ilé tá a fi tọ́mọ ní ìrìdí tá a fi tọ́mọ ìrì ní òwò lọ́rọ̀ wọn. Torí ẹ̀ ní ìgbà tí Putin pé wọ́n ní empire of lies, ọmọ tó ń sọ o empire of lies ni o, tí wọ́n ń fi ẹ̀mí àwọn èèyàn, tí wọ́n ń fi ṣe future àwọn èèyàn, tí wọ́n fi build. That has been the way the world was built. Ẹni tí ò bá wá mọ tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tó bá ń bá wọn ní kinní kan human rights, kinní kan rights. Museum ni ó end up sí. Mo lọ sí museum kan ní Cologne. Wọ́n pe museum yẹn ní chocolate factory, chocolate museum, chocolate. So ní ẹ̀gbẹ́ Rhine ní Cologne, ẹ̀gbẹ́ Rhine river ló wà. Ṣé rí odò yẹn dàbí river Niger ní Rhine river yẹn. Ṣé nígbà tá a débẹ̀, mo ti rò pé mi ò ṣẹlẹ̀ wo different type of chocolate ni. Mo wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rí artifacts tí àwọn Native Americans gbogbo tí wọ́n kó látọ̀dọ̀ wọn nígbà tí wọ́n pa wọ́n run. Omi ẹkún dẹ̀ gbọ̀n mí pé Yorùbá wọ́n lè dì báyìí. Ṣé rí mo rí system of writing wọn, mo rí torí chocolate tí gbogbo wa ń jẹ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí, oúnjẹ àwọn Native Americans ní chocolate. Popcorn tẹ̀ ń jẹ yẹn, oúnjẹ àwọn Native Americans ni. Wọ́n pa àwọn èèyàn run, àwọn tó fẹ́ parun yìí, wọ́n pa wọ́n run, wọ́n tún gba oúnjẹ tán tún jẹ, wọ́n tún gbà lọ́wọ́ wọn, wọ́n tún sọ di owó. Wọ́n tún sọ di economic power. Nígbà àwọn tá à ń ṣe kòkó gan wò tún jẹ́ kí economy wa tún grow. This is what these people are capable of doing. Kò dé ṣe ìran nìkan ni, so mo ti explain bí ayé ṣe rí, at least mo ti lo those examples. Tẹ́ ẹ bá wo China, àwọn aláìmọ̀ kankan wọ́n ní China, Nigeria, then Nigeria is like the China of Africa. Torí wọn ò understand, wọn ò dẹ̀bẹ̀ gbọ́. Ṣé rí àwọn kan wà tí wọn ò ní gbọ́? Kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ lè sọ. Àwọn yẹn wọn ò ní future ní wọn ò ní future in the future of the Yoruba people. They have no future in the future of the Yoruba people. And they must not speak, they must not represent us in any place, in any way, under any circumstances. We must not allow them to do that. Torí entity ẹ ti jóná, kò ní konọ́mọ́ ti wà àbí bọ̀ ní àwọn Yorùbá ṣe máa ń sọ. So entity ẹ ti bàjẹ́ kó má wàá bá tiwọn wàá yòókù jẹ́ ní ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀. Ó wá dín gbogbo táwọn sọ yìí, ó wá bọ̀ á padà sí Africa proper. Ṣé rí màá fi country kan ṣe example fún yín? Ṣé bá wo China ní ìsìn ní 92% ní ethnic group kan ló dominate gbogbo China. So China is like a monolithic ethnic group. The biggest ethnic group in the world is the Han Chinese. They are close to 1.5 billion people. And imagine kí ẹ̀yà kan kó ní agbára yẹn. Kí ẹ̀yà kan kó ní agbára yẹn. Ẹ dẹ̀ rí pé China wọ́n make sure pé gbogbo ilẹ̀ wọn pátá tí West gbà lọ́wọ́ wọn náà ń gbà padà one after the other. Wọ́n gba Tibet, wọ́n gba Hong Kong, in fact wọ́n gba Macau, Portugal ló gba Macau, France ló gba Tibet, Hong Kong, Britain ló gbà. They collected everything. Taiwan tó kù sí ìtòbẹ́ wọn náà máa gba Taiwan padà. Tí ogun àgbáyé bá fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀, ṣé àwọn ọgbẹ́ tí ò bá ní ọpọlọ tó bá jẹ́ láìmọ̀ kan bí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ìbáwọn Yorùbá kan ti dì í sìn yóò ní kí ni ẹ òbí China ṣe tó kí ló fẹ́ fi yí ilẹ̀ kékeré tí ń bẹ lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ òkun kí ló fẹ́ fi ṣe kó fílẹ̀ náà fún ọmọ ẹja ayé wọn lọ nígbà tá a understand self preservation kò sí bí ilẹ̀ yẹn ṣe lè tó bó ṣe lè kéré tó. You must say you must strive hard to have your land back. 500 years, close to over 400 years. Only Macau ni òbí sí lọ́wọ́ China mọ́. I greet everybody once again in the name of Olodumare. I'm really grateful to the Almighty Creator for giving us this opportunity to come once again to come and preach this message of freedom. And my words are not going to be much, because we know that if we continue to speak from now till tomorrow, those who want to be saved will be saved, and those who don't want to be saved will not be saved. I will first start by answering the question you asked my brother, Ifadari. And what was the question you asked? The question you asked was, in 20 years, what is the future of Nigeria? That alone is a Twitter space topic. It's a symposium topic, a conference topic. In 20 years, this is going to be the future of Nigeria. Nigeria is on its way to Afghanistan. One, there are large spaces of land in Nigeria that are controlled by non-state actors. Powerful, efficient, well-armed with sophisticated weapons, and they are very, very rich. They have the money to wage war against the Nigerian state for the next 10 years. And they are patiently waiting. Patiently waiting. The patience of the jihadists is second to none. Taliban waited for 20 years. They waited for 20 years before taking over Afghanistan. Same thing with Al-Qaeda, which later metamorphosized into ISIS. They waited for close to 15 years before showing their face in Syria and Iraq after the fall of Saddam Hussein. Everywhere the Europeans have went to, all over the world, they have always connived with the Arab world against the indigenous people. When the British got to an area called Iraq, Persia, Turkey, they connived with them in order to subjugate the Kurds. When the French and other Europeans, they got to North Africa, they connived with the Arabs to subjugate the Berbers. When the Europeans, the British to be specific, got to Sudan, they connived with the Arabs to subjugate the blacks. When they got to the area of Nigeria, they connived with the Arabized Semitic Africans in the person of the Fulanis to subjugate the blacks. This is what they've done. It's the same pattern everywhere. When they got to South Africa, they connived with their kinsmen, the Afrikaners, the Boers, to subjugate the blacks. When they got to Namibia, they connived with the settlers called the Germans to subjugate the blacks. It's the same pattern everywhere. That is why the killings of the people of the Middle Belt, of the people of Southern Nigeria, is nothing. If you like, millions of you be killed, nothing will be done. They don't care. Because this has been their pattern for the past 500 years. The West did not bring, the British did not come to Nigeria to create a good Nigeria for you. They created Nigeria to destroy you. And they created that Nigeria to steal resources needed to build prosperity and wealth for their people abroad. I mean, in England, in the United Kingdom, that was what they did. And they did it without thinking twice, with joy. That is why those who think they own Nigeria, they are so arrogant. They kill with impunity and get away with it.
What is the future of the Yoruba nation? Right in our lifetime, we've seen what the Fulanis they are planning to do to us. There is no place on earth except where people are conquered, where people that are not indigenous are asking for indigenous lands, and you still end up saying one Nigeria. I think maybe we should come down and start talking in basic language to our people. Maybe they can understand the threat and the danger that is at hand. Evil is already upon the land. But unfortunately, we have a youth that are destined for destruction. We have youth whose also aim is to dissolve, is to destroy everything their forefathers have worked for. They don't even care that in the core north, they still have a form of Sharia where they cannot drink their beer, the kind of beer, the kind of clubs you attend in the south. You cannot attend it in the north. You know.
Can you mute your mic and think Yoruba?
You know that Nigeria is nothing but a clash of civilization. You know that the people you are sitting down with, talking about one Nigeria with, they've told you what they wanted. They want a Sharia law to govern their lives. Tell me, what is the difference between Pantami and Abubakar Shekau? Pantami that was caught on television, live or caught or recorded, praying for the success of Taliban to take over Afghanistan. Caught praying in the mosque with hundreds, if not thousands of people saying, Ami, that they are praying for Al-Qaeda to succeed. And you think the West gives a damn about you. Even the Taliban was built and sponsored, called the Mujahideen, they were sponsored by the West. Whether you like it or not, the Taliban are now the official government of Afghanistan. The Nigerian government will finally negotiate with Boko Haram and give them a form of autonomy to control that space, and there is nothing you people will do about it. You see those Fulani militias that know how to use the weapon left and right, they will be incorporated into the Nigerian army. And what do you guys, do you brothers and sisters, the Gen Z generation, what do you have to protect yourself when that day happens and your space turns to Darfur and they take over your entire space? You only have PVC. The reason why you are asking for PVC is not because you don't know there is a problem. The reason is because you are cowards. You have no ideology to protect. You see the problem, you see the danger, but you are too afraid to face it. That is why you continue to look for a solution where there's no solution. As for all Yoruba people, the pure Yoruba nationalists, this is our way forward. We need to be consistent. We need to embrace true nationalists and embrace Yoruba nationalism to the core. The Fulani militias that are asking for land, killing indigenous people, wiping people out, they are nationalists. They are Fulani nationalists. That is the bitter truth. And if you want to face these people, you must throw. Liberalism cannot fight nationalism. It has never won. I repeat, liberalism can never fight nationalism. It can never win. You will be consumed. You will be consumed. So the only way is to organize ourselves and continue to educate our youth. The reason why, let me tell you, the northern youth, Hausa Fulani youth, they are far more educated than southern youth. Speaking English is not equivalent to having high intellectual quotient. IQ, it's not equivalent to it. They understand self-preservation. They understand their history. They know their problem. And they are very realistic about what they want. ask any Hausa Fulani Muslim to come up, they will still come and defend Sharia law. When Deborah was lynched, don't you see professors from the north defending the killing of Deborah in a supposedly secular country? And Nigeria has moved on. If you think PDC will save you, Nigeria will kill you and Nigeria will move on. They will take over your lands, they will take over your space, and Nigeria will move on. And you still see some of your yeye British people whose IQ is not qualified to even be in secondary schools, that are now forming leaders on social media. People cannot hold any high-class intellectual conversation for 10 minutes. Reprogramming our youth for destruction. Telling our youth to destroy their ethnic identity. Telling our youth to flee from self-determination. In this same century, just a few weeks ago, we see Scotland talking about self-determination. That the Scottish people, despite having that level of autonomy within England, within the United Kingdom, they still want their independent country. Are you going to tell me Scotland is a poor country? Scotland is a prosperous country, a first world country. It's not a shithole like Nigeria. It's an ethnic nation. The Scot is an ethnic nationality, just like the Yoruba is an ethnic nationality. And when it comes to civilization building, when it comes to history, when it comes to power, the Scottish people do not even have what the Yoruba people have. They are not close to us. But they can speak with passion and say, we want to be sovereign. In as much the world continues to exist, self-determination will still continue to be on the mountain. Every indigenous people across the world. You cannot run away from it. There is no empire that has lasted forever. The Fulanis know what they want. They are consistent about it. And which is the turning of Nigeria into a Fulani empire. Nigeria is turning into a Fulani empire. And I'm going to give you 5 things they've done. 1, they made sure they destroyed the Nigerian constitution and they turned it into a unitary system of government. For you to create a medieval, in fact, the kind of empire they want to create in Nigeria used to be that kind of empire we had in the 16th century and 17th century. So, if we don't get out of Nigeria, your life will be messed up. Because this is feudalism full blown. Because this is a centralized empire, a unitary system of government, hijacked by a particular ethnic bloc. A nation controlling other nations. That's internal colonialism. And they are so crafty, so intelligent in what they are doing. And they messed up our educational... Why do you think they are destroying our educational system? Bring PDP. PDP will do the same and destroy the educational system too. Because that educational system, and they know, the educational system you are going to get in private schools, in private universities, you cannot do unionism there. You cannot learn revolution there. And they will destroy it. They will not be allowed, you will not be able to learn revolution in those spaces. So, this is the problem. They've destroyed the lives of our youth. The universities have been closed for close to 6-7 months. They are talking about making Nigeria great. They are doing as if nothing happens. And this is not about party. That is the problem. Don't fall for that trick, for that trap, and thinking this is a party, this is an individual. It's a Nigerian problem. Why should a Fulani man be the Minister of Education? Controlling your education, you Yorubas, you Igbos, you Ijos. Is it possible for the English to be controlling the education of the Scots? Is it possible for the Irish to be controlling the education system of the Welsh? They will never accept it, even though they are in the same country. That was why the Irish fought a brutal civil war, forming the IRA in order to get regional autonomy from England. Go and read about the Good Friday Agreement. These are people that are more civilized than you. So when you talk about that's your freedom, they are going to tell you, oh, it is not sexy to be very violent about your freedom. If you are not violent for your freedom, that means you are not in pain. The pain trade, that means the pain you are suffering from is not enough. That is why we need to do what we need to do in this generation, no matter what happens. Let me tell you something. If you fight for freedom, if you don't fight for freedom, you will be killed. People that are not going about farming in our villages are being raped, killed in their hundreds, if not thousands, across the country. So why not fight and demand justice? The injustice that have been entrenched against our forefathers for the past 100 years. Shakespeare says something, and I quote, "Cowards die many times before their death, but the valiant will taste death but once." The Yoruba people say, and Yoruba people also said, "Mi o le ku kan le waju ile baba eni." But you don't want to. Because these celebrities are dumb individuals. They know nothing. Go to their space, they won't even talk about any history. You mention history, they start peeing in their pants. Please keep quiet, we don't talk about that. Is that the kind of people you should listen to? I'm talking to you, Gen Z generation. I'm talking to you. You're already preparing about BB Niger. Because that is what your brain can comprehend. That is what your brain has been wired to do. You should be planning about how you are going to explore Jupiter, explore Saturn. All you talk about now is Japa. Or what you talk about is BB Niger. Or what you talk about is PVC. Is that the way revolutionaries think? And people are telling you they need your water. They need your water. They need your land. They couldn't get the land in 1976 when they did the Land Use Act. They put it to the state government. They gave the state government under the military. Because they were thinking at a point in time is coming that even the state government will be controlled by the Fulanis. After they fully Fulanized the rest of us. To all Yorubas listening to me, look at what they did in Ilorin, in Kwara State. Just one city that they were able to steal from us. Just one town. It's not even up to a city. A town. And the rest of the Yoruba people that are not even under the suzerainty of Ilorin became non-tenants. They just need just one local government from you. They call it the theory of marginal gains. Just like my brother said, Ifadari. They just need to be amongst you and they will decimate you. They are just in your forest already and they are decimating you. Why do you think they want to be in your space at all costs? Why do you think they want to change the demography? Why do you think they are perpetrating secular colonialism? The way apartheid started was through secular colonialism. You brought foreigners to come and be living and taking space amongst the indigenous people. It is destruction that will end us. And they are doing it so that day, when you guys now finally realize that you want self-determination, it will be too late. They will tell you they also have the right to vote. They will tell you they are not going anywhere. Why do you think Ukraine is in trouble? Ukraine is in trouble because the eastern Ukraine, where you have ethnic Russians, they were brought there during the period of Stalin. They were forced there and they forced themselves, displaced the indigenous people. Close to 80 years later, the Ukrainians now say they don't want to have anything with Russians. You cannot send away people that have forced themselves and living in there. And they are now living in where there is the most richest place in Ukraine in terms of mineral resources. That's why Ukrainians are saying Eastern Ukraine is their ancestral space. But secular colonialism is one of the most easiest way to expand and steal land from indigenous people. Go on, and they are talking about waterways. They will take water and they will take the land. Not just water. And maybe we are going to come to this place and also talk about the importance of water in Fulani Jihad. Every Fulani Jihad, they've always traced water. Every Fulani Jihad, they built nothing less than 4 empires in West Africa. Masina Empire, Futajalon Empire, Futatoro Empire, Tokulo Empire, Sokoto Kalibi. That's 5 empires. Every of those empires, there was a water. So it is very, very important. Even the Roman Empire was built near water. Ottoman Empire was built because of water. Oyo Empire was also built along River Niger. Oya, Odroja, there was a water. That was why our capital was in that area before, the area of Jeba. And you don't know, some people are so very, very... That do you think they are attacking Benue? They are attacking Benue because they need that land in Benue. They need to control that space in Benue. The world is free for all. Everybody is just grabbing lands. And they continue to push. The whole of North Africa, black people used to be there. The whole of Sudan used to be called Nubia. Nubia means black people. Even Sudan was an Arab word for black people. They pushed us out. They pushed us from North Africa. They are pushed us from East Africa. Now we are even along the coastal area of West Africa. Where are they pushing us to? Where do you guys see them? They are going to, you either kill them, they either wipe us out, or we become slaves forever. This kind of rhetoric, the difference between a moderate Hausa Fulani supremacist and the Fulani militias and Boko Haram is just the tactics. That is the difference between them. That is the difference between them. So if we don't do what we need to do, we will be consumed and we will be conquered. Thank you, everybody, once again. Thank you, everybody, the moderators and those that have spoken. This is Think Yoruba First. You can join our community Telegram platform. It's pinned there. If you want to be part of us, contact any of the moderators. We, this generation, we ensure Yoruba land is free. We are not terrorists. If those who killed Deborah can put their mind, they can come outside and say, yes, we killed Deborah. There's nothing we do. We want Yoruba nation and we are bringing our chest outside. We are tribalists. Call us anything you want to call us. Yoruba land must, the resources of Yoruba land must be used to develop Yoruba space. We are not asking for too much. We are not Nigerians. We are Yoruba first. Call us anything you want to call us. No apologies. 2023 election is an exercise in futility. Embrace self-determination. Maybe we can have a chance to survive what is about to come. Thank you very much.